Kenya is probably the only country in the world where politics always take the center stage, even in the midst of a major crisis. The world today is busy facing and dealing with a global crisis. But anybody landing into this country for the first time and landing at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport for the first time and purchasing major dailies in this country would think that the country is facing a major general election in the next few months. And take, for example, or contrast that to Tanzania. The people of Tanzania will be going for an election later this year. But you can't even know that they are going for a general election. You can't know they are going to elect their new president. But we are Kenya. And Kenyans are peculiar people. So we have to deal with it. Let me just show you the contents, the headlines in major dailies between yesterday and today. The Standard today has an headline, revealed structure of unity government. That's the headline. That's the Daily Nation, sorry. The Standard has an headline, Uhuru new powermen. Basically powerful people currently around President Uhuru Kenyatta. And then the Daily Nation on Sunday, which was yesterday, had this headline, Uhuru Raila plot coalition government. So if you're landing into this country today and you are faced with those kind of headlines, then you'd think the country is facing a general election. Kenyans will go to the polls in 2022. And again, Kenya is also the only country where people go to the polls, you elect your governor, your MP, your women rep, you campaign for them. Then immediately after electing them, you start making noise about them. President Uhuru Kenyatta, who was anointed by God, the people who claimed Uhuru was anointed by God are the same people who are now crying like babies. The people who voted, for example, for Mike Sonko at the expense of Evans Kedero are the people who are currently crying. The people who elected their members of parliament, their MCAs, are today crying. Even the people who campaigned day and night for them. So that's Kenya. We elect people, then the next day, we begin politics. And now this takes us to our topic for today. Today, I want us to look at the lineup which Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga are crafting for 2022. Because what I know for sure is that there's going to be a coalition government involving Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and probably Gideon Moi before December. And I want to believe on what Anne Kiguta said, because Anne Kiguta is not just speaking for herself. Anne Kiguta is sending a message which has been scripted. So we are going to have a coalition government in this country before 2022. And after that, at the end of the term of that coalition government, what is the game plan? The game plan of these people is that they want to face the general election together. So they are going to bring together several political parties together to form a grand coalition which is going to form the government in 2022. And this is what we want to look at. And the strategy I'm going to use is the strategy which I've read on the daily newspaper. The daily newspaper reported and interviewed several political leaders. And one thing I've noted is that Musalia Mudavadi is opting out of that alliance. Barack Moloka, who is his Secretary General, made it clear that Mudavadi, his ANC party, is not going to be part of that coalition government. Kalonzo Musyoka Jr. made it clear that he welcomed that coalition arrangement. So Mutula is actually a mouthpiece for Kalonzo Musyoka. And of course, Joshua Kutuny and Nick Salat supported it. So I'm talking of KANU being in that coalition government. And of course, Raila Odinga is already with President Uhuru Kenyatta. So how is these particular political parties going to ensure that they deliver the presidency in 2022? Let's begin with ODM as a political party and what ODM is going to bring on board. Number one, in ODM party, there are several political players who are going to play a key role in this. Raila Odinga is the party leader, so definitely is going to play a major role in this coalition government. Not probably the coalition government, in the next formation, which these guys are working on, the next lineup. Then there is Hassan Joho. Hassan Joho is being elevated even today by President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has actually used this particular crisis so well to an extent that Kenyans now admire him. So Hassan Joho is likely to play a key role. And the role Hassan Joho will play, apart from being the ODM deputy party leader, is going to ensure that coastal region will remain in ODM party, and he will also be entrusted with the crafting, working, or locking out the DP out of the coastal region. And apart from Joho from Mombasa, there's also Amason Kingi. Amason Kingi is also going to play a key role. So the idea is very simple. If the constitution will not be changed, or if the constitution will be changed, but there will be no regional governments and there will be no prime minister, deputy prime minister, Hassan Joho is destined to become a very powerful cabinet secretary in that particular government. And that's why he's being elevated. You saw the president offering him Air Force 2 to use to Mombasa. The other guy is Wycliffe Oparanya. And it's understandable. Oparanya is going to play a key role in winning the support from Western Kenya. We know the DP is making a lot of inroads in Western Kenya. We also know that there's Moses Wetangula in Western Kenya. And from all indications, Musalia Mudavadi is not going to be part and parcel of this particular arrangement. So Uhuru and Raila will need someone to deal with Western Kenya. And this is where Wycliffe Oparanya is going to come in. And I'm sure Oparanya will deliver because he's known to deliver. But what is in there for Wycliffe Oparanya? It's simple. Oparanya is also being prepared for the future. And he believes that if the constitution will not be changed, then we won't have the position of regional governor. And again, the term of the governor cannot be renewed. He's going to serve his second term and going home. So an arrangement is going to be made where Oparanya is also going to be part and parcel of the government which is going to be formed. So Oparanya is going to be a key player. The third player from ODM political party is going to be Josphat Nanok, the Turkana governor. I always say, I've said on this platform and I repeat, that the biggest challenge for Uhuru and Raila is how to deal with Rift Valley. And to deal with the Rift Valley, it means the votes must be split. In 2017, in 2013, in 2007, Turkana voted for Raila Odinga. And after voting for Raila Odinga, then there emerged a governor, Governor Nanok. But the term of Governor Nanok is coming to an end. And Governor Nanok at some point was leaning toward the deputy president. But recently Nanok announced that he had defected from that camp and that he was going to join fully the Building Bridges Initiative campaigns. So probably Governor Nanok from ODM party is also likely, actually was the vice chair and he was kicked out of that position. Governor Nanok is also probably one of the governors who are angling themselves post 2022. Because if there will not be a regional government, even if there will be a regional government, it will be very difficult for Nanok to win. But it would be easier to appoint Governor Nanok as a cabinet secretary. Because Nanok is also viewed as one of the governors who has delivered. If you look at the governors who are being propelled, these are governors who are viewed as people who have delivered. Kenyans will not have Joho serving as a minister. Kenyans will not have Joho have problems with Oparanya working as a minister. So those are some of the realities. Then the next guy is going to be the Masai guy, Olekina. And what will Olekina be playing the role? Just like I said, the biggest problem of Uhuru and Raila is how to deal with the Rift Valley. So Rift Valley has to be split. Turkana will have to go. Then, because they voted for Raila and again, so they'll try to retain that. Then they'll come to Masais and remove Masais from the rest of Rift Valley, and also Masais will vote on their own. And that's how Ole Kina is going to be elevated. And the elevation of Ole Kina will be simple. Ole Kina will be elevated to be the Senate again. And once he wins that senatorship, chances of him being the majority leader at the Senate is going to be very high. He's going to be rewarded, and Masais are going to be rewarded. So Ole Kina is going to play another role there. Then we come to Nyanza. Nyanza, two people. There is Obado, who has a lot of interest in post-2020, and then there is Fred Okengo Matiangi. Matiangi is still as a government employee. But the rumor is that Matiangi might even decide to run for a governorship. But Matiangi, in all equation, is rumored to be a compromise candidate. He is likely to be a compromise candidate. But if you want to be a compromise candidate, it means Matiangi will not allow the deputy president to become the president, because he served as a cabinet secretary when the DP was being humiliated. So Fred Matiangi will play a key role in Nyanza. Basically, Matiangi is going to be the face of campaigns in Nyanza. And again, back to Rift Valley, in Trans Nzoia, Eugene Wamalwa is also going to be propped up as the lawyer face, and also to deal with Rift Valley. But now that is from the side of ODM. So ODM will play their role. Then now they leave it now to KANU. What role will KANU play? KANU is a political party, but what role will KANU play? But let me ask you a simple question. Uhuru Kenyatta. Is Uhuru Kenyatta a member of TNA, or is he a member of Jubilee? Or is he a member of Jubilee, of KANU? Something tells me that Uhuru Kenyatta is keen on handing over power to KANU. Something tells me. And that's why Gideon Moi is being propped up. There was no way Gideon Moi would have refused to dissolve KANU in 2013 to join Jubilee. All other major political parties were dissolved. But KANU, through Gideon Moi, refused. Why was he refusing? And it's when I'm realizing that even in 2007, when Uhuru contested and won as a member of parliament for Gatundu South, he did that. Uhuru did that through KANU. He was in PNU as a KANU member. So Uhuru still has that soft spot for KANU. So what role will KANU play? KANU, in my view, I think is going to play a spoiler role. KANU is going to play a spoiler role in Rift Valley. There are places like Pokot. They voted for KANU. Again, there are people, the likes of, when now Gideon is playing a key role, then there are people who would think that these guys are not keen on the DP. So they'll want to bank on Gideon Moi. So I think Gideon Moi and KANU are likely to play just spoiler in Rift Valley. But if that animal will be slaughtered, then KANU will be eating with a very big spoon there. The third political party which is coming on board is Kalonzo Musyoka's Wiper. And this poses a very big challenge to the DP. I've always opined on this platform that if the DP is keen on becoming the president, then he must quote one man called Kalonzo Musyoka. Musyoka has the key to Ukambani politics. I know that's an issue which is debatable. But I've always challenged people to look back. When Musyoka contested in 2007, he was number 3. He became the vice president. But Kamba voted for Kalonzo Musyoka. When in 2013, he was not a presidential candidate, he was running mate to Raila Odinga. Again, he delivered Kamba votes fully. In 2013, despite the rigging of several governors and MPs, Wiper still swept Ukambani, the presidential. So I've always told people that if the DP is keen on becoming the president of the Republic of Kenya, then he must get Kalonzo Musyoka as his running mate. But if that will not happen, if these guys will reach out to Kalonzo Musyoka very fast, then Kalonzo Musyoka is going to leave the Kamba to deliver the Kamba votes. But again, Kalonzo is also going to face a major problem. If Kalonzo will not be running, rest assured, Alfred Mutua's name will be on the ballot, on the ballot in 2017 as a presidential candidate. But to support Kalonzo would be two governors. There's going to be Charity Ngilu, and there's also going to be Kivutha Kibwana. So with those votes, they will lock Ukambani. And once you lock Ukambani, then to some extent, you lock the Ukambani in the diaspora. That is cost. There's so many there, and Northeastern. And again, the KANU factor is also to deal with the Northeastern. Northeastern still lean towards Chama cha Baba na Mama also. So those major political parties are going to play a key role in that kind of formation. But what are some of the cake which is going to be divided? Because you can't tell Kalonzo to come and he's going to be the vice president and it ends there. What of Gideon? So in my view, these guys are going to split the presidency if the constitution will not be changed. Several positions are going to be split amongst them. So the presidency will go to someone. The vice presidency is going to go to someone. Then we are going to have the speaker to the National Assembly and the speaker to the Senate. Those are two positions. These ones will also go to separate individuals. Those are the realities. And then we are going to have the majority leaders of the houses. Because if it's a coalition, it means their aim is to win as many political seats as possible. So we are going to have someone as the majority in the Senate and someone majority at the National Assembly. And at the Senate, if Ole Kina is going to win, then it's going to be the majority leader. And that one is also going to appease the minority clans and also the people of the Maasai people and the marginalized. And lastly, is the Nairobi. Who is going to be the governor of Nairobi? And how is Nairobi going to be managed? Who is going to manage Nairobi? So that's also a discussion which is going to be put on the table. These guys might even decide that Kalonzo Musyoka will be the governor for Nairobi. What will you do? Nothing. Because Sonko is already gone. And even if Sonko would be there, I don't think he can retain his seat without the support of the system. So in my view, that is the lineup which these guys are crafting. But besides those political parties and those faces, there are other major players who are going to come up. For example, in the larger Mount Kenya region, we are going to have very key players. One is going to be Peter Munya. Peter Munya is going to be a key player, by the way, in the next general election. He is going to contest for Meru, but with an elevated profile. Then there is Waiguru. I'm not sure whether Waiguru is going to contest for the gubernatorial seat again. But I see Waiguru as a possible running mate to one of these candidates. If Raila Odinga will be the presidential candidate, Waiguru will still be a running mate. If it will be Fred Matiangi, still Waiguru will be still a running mate. If it will be Gideon Moi, then Waiguru might still be a running mate. But even if she won't be a running mate, then the system will still make her a governor. I don't know what you think. But in my view, that is the lineup which is coming up. And this lineup will be assisted by very young, energetic young men supporting Uhuru and supporting Raila Odinga. People like Babu Wino, people like Nyamita. There are so many. You go to Coast there are so many people who will be supporting this team. I don't know what you think. People like Wambugu Gunjiri, you know, there's several of them, especially from Nairobi, from Central. There are going to be so many youthful people who are going to support this kind of arrangement. I don't know what you think, but if you're bumping on this video for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and hit the subscribe button. And again, the only request I want to make to you here today is to help me share this video. So you can share this video to your profile, Facebook pages, Twitter, if you have WhatsApp groups and those groups, just share this particular video. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day.